Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books and go beyond. I'm your host. I'm Renee, co-host Raina. Let's see what we've got for snack of the day today. We still have some of these Milk-Bone minis, so that's what Raina will get during this video. Some pieces of Milk-Bone minis. So even though today is not Tag Tuesday, I am going to do a tag because as we all know, we get behind on those. And sometimes it's nice to have some additional tags so that you can do an extra one during the week and have some good, subject matter and content for your channel. So I'm happy to do this. I was tagged on this tag by Jess Book Girl TV, and this is called the Quick to Judge Challenge. And she says, "Hi, Bookworms. The Quick to Judge Challenge was created a few years ago by Ali Risdal. I wanted to bring this back to Booktube because it's a fun challenge to do. My hope is other booktubers do it as well." So, okay, let's see what we can do with this. Raina, I'm going to get you in the camera there. Okay, so the first prompt, and I've already kind of worked on it. It says, pick 5 to 10 unread books from your shelves. So I picked 5, just in the interest of keeping this fairly brief. So there's my 5 books. And then the second prompt says, read the first paragraph of every book. So here we go. The first book is The Memory of Running by Ron McClarty. And let's see what we have for our first paragraph. My parents' Ford wagon hit a concrete divider on US 95 outside Biddeford, Maine in August 1990. They'd driven that stretch of highway for maybe 30 years on the way to Long Lake. Some guy who used to play baseball with Pop had these cabins by the lake, and they named them for their children. Jenny, Al, Tyler, Craig, Bugs, Alice, and Sam. We always got Alice for 2 weeks in August because it had the best waterfront with a shallow sandy beach, and Mom and Pop could watch us while they sat in the green Adirondack chairs. All right, that is exactly what I thought this book would be. Kind of cozy, kind of memory-filled for me. So I picked this. I got this in the Goodwill, actually, only maybe about a month or so ago. And yeah, something about it just called to me. It was in perfect shape. I don't think anybody ever read it. But let's see. That's definitely a possibility. I like the cozy feel. So the next one I chose is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and that is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think I'm the only person on Booktube who hasn't read this yet. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but yeah, let's see what we got here. All right, we've got some. There's like an article there. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to go to the first paragraph on chapter 1. And it's got some conversation, so I'm just going to go to the end of the conversation. So because it's not really a paragraph. Can you come into my office? I look around at the desks beside me and then back at Frankie, trying to confirm to whom exactly she's talking. I point to myself. Do you mean me? Frankie has very little patience. Yes, Monique, you. That's why I said, Monique, can you come into my office? Sorry, I just heard the last part. Frankie turns. I grab my notepad and follow her. Okay. Well, Monique seems okay, but I don't like Frankie. But it's hard to make a judgment from just that little part. But anyway, yeah, I've heard good things about the book. Next, let's read a paragraph here from Richard Wright. this book called Black Boy. This would count as a banned book, so I thought I'd throw a banned book in there. I always could use a banned book to my credit here. So again, we've got an introduction that I'm just going to bypass, and now I'm at chapter 1. One winter morning in the long ago, 4-year-old days of my life, I found myself standing before a fireplace, warming my hands over a mound of glowing coals, listening to the wind whistle past the house outside. All morning, my mother had been scolding me, telling me to keep still, warning me that I must make no noise, and I was angry, fretful, and impatient. In the next room, Granny lay ill, and under the day and night care of a doctor, and I knew that I would be punished if I did not obey. I crossed restlessly to the window and pushed back the long, fluffy white curtains, which I had been forbidden to touch, and looked yearningly out into the empty street. I honestly do not know what that was. Probably something in the closet, but I think it's not a thriller. Let's see. I was dreaming of running and playing and shouting, but the vivid image of Granny's old, white, wrinkled, grim face, framed by a halo of tumbling black hair, lying upon a huge feather pillow, made me afraid. That's got a lot of tension in it for a first paragraph, from the point of view of a 4-year-old, wanting to go out, the kind of the nightmare of grandma dying in the house. Seems like the mom really has a lot of rules, doesn't want him to go out, doesn't want him to touch the curtains. Yeah, I'd like to know more about that. That's definitely a strong possibility. The next one is The Maid, and that is by Nita Prose. A great name for an author. Bet that's not a real name. I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I shouldn't start a rumor. Okay, it says, I am well aware that my name is ridiculous. It was not ridiculous before I took this job 4 years ago. I'm a maid at the Regency Grand Hotel, and my name is Molly. Molly Maid. A joke. Before I took the job, Molly was just a name, given to me by my estranged mother, who left me so long ago that I have no memory of her, just a few photos and the stories Gran has told me. Another grandmother. Gran said my mother thought Molly was a cute name for a girl, that it conjured apple cheeks and pigtails, neither of which I have, as it turns out. I've got simple dark hair that I maintain in a sharp, neat bob. I part my hair in the middle, the exact middle. I comb it flat and straight. I like things simple and neat. I like that. That's kind of straightforward, and I like the way she's telling you, I think my name is ridiculous. It's Molly Maid. I mean, yeah, I like the tone. I like the tone in that one. So the last one is Colson Whitehead, The Underground Railroad. And we'll see. Let's see where we're going to go with this one. So the first section is called Ajari. The first time Caesar approached Cora about running north, she said no. This was her grandmother talking. Cora's mother had never seen the ocean before that bright afternoon in the port of Ouida, and the water dazzled after her time in the fort's dungeon. The dungeon stored them until the ships arrived. Dahomean raiders kidnapped the men first, then returned to her village the next moon for the women and children, marching them in chains to the sea 2 by 2. As she stared into the black doorway, Ajari thought she'd be reunited with her father down there in the dark. The survivors from her village told her that when her father couldn't keep the pace of the long march, the slavers stove in his head and left his body by the trail. Her mother had died years before. Okay, that's a heavy paragraph, which you would expect. I know this author is fantastic, and I really do want to read this book. I'm going to have to be in the mood for it, and I'm going to have to pair it with, some other things on the TBR that are a little bit lighter, so that I can still have a pleasant month of reading. Not that reading this would be unpleasant, just kind of difficult to face, I think, emotionally. So let's see. Now we know the books. Now we've read the first paragraph. So let's rank them. Can't really turn my wrist. It's been hurting me. That's why I have the split on. But yeah, there you go. There's the spines of everything. So I'm going to say for number 5 here, I thought that the weakest first paragraph that just didn't really hook me in that much was here. So we'll put that number 5. No offense. I want to read the book, believe me, but yeah. Next. Wow, everything was really well written, wasn't it? Well, I really don't want this on my TBR next month, so that will be fourth. I thought they all had dynamite first paragraphs that really made me want to read more. I'm going to say number 3, then, is this. Even though it made me feel good, that was a good feel for, it really was. It had a good feeling. These two. I was most hooked in by this. So that will be number 2. So we've got our number 1. This is going to go on my TBR for next month. Next is Black Boy. Maybe I'll put that on my TBR for April. That would leave this for May. I thought that has a good cozy feel for May, actually. So I may do that. June, maybe. June, I don't know if June's a good month for that one. I was going to read Pride stuff for June. So then that will leave this one maybe sometime later in the summer or something. And I may mix up those later. But yeah, I will start with The Maid. I will put The Maid on my TBR for March. So there's a little preview for you. Okay, so the 5th and final prompt is to invite someone else to do it. So I will take a look at, who hasn't been tagged that might want to do something like this, and I will go ahead and tag them in the description below. Just one more thing I wanted to mention. I think I mentioned this one other time. Donna has her pottery in an Etsy shop now. It's very nice, very nicely done. She did a good job with it. And yeah, if you want to take a look, I always put a link in the description. And I think at the end of my video, there should be a link also to her Etsy shop. It's called DC Ceramics Designs. So yeah, if you're on Etsy, you can possibly find it that way. So thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and please leave me a comment below. One more snack. And again, thank you very much. Have a great day.